Hi, welcome back to another video. Almost 80% of adults suffer from back pain at some points in their lives. As I've mentioned in my previous videos, to self-manage your back pain effectively, it is important to first identify the cause, be it your posture or prolonged sitting or core dysfunction. Then you deal with your tight muscles through self-myofascial release. Then stretch out the once tightened muscles and activation of the once weakened muscles, like your glutes. Then integrated functional exercises. I have videos covering these topics. Please check them out under the back pain playlist. In this video, I'm focusing on the most effective stretches as part of your holistic approach in the self-management of your back pain. While I understand that it is common for those who suffer from chronic back pain attempting to alleviate the pain with certain lower back stretches. But the truth is, many of these stretches for back pain are just short-term fixes that could actually end up doing more harm than good, and are quite the opposite of what people should be doing. Stretches that meant to relieve lower back pain, like toe touches and other similar stretches, trigger what we call a stretch reflex, which is a neurological phenomenon which gives you temporary reduction of pain sensitivity, meaning that after you perform these stretches, you will often experience short-term pain relief, so you would naturally perceive these as beneficial. But the problem is that in putting your spine in this flex position, you end up re-aggravating your spinal intervertebral disc. So after you have experienced temporary relief, the pain will simply return. This creates a vicious cycle of thinking that these stretches are doing you good and are the only solution for relief, yet in reality are just contributing to the pain in the lower back. So it is critical for you to break this vicious cycle. So watch till the end of this video and I will show you how to relieve lower back pain effectively with these 4 moves. If you like this video and find this useful, please click the like button. Please leave your comments below and share this video. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future weekly video release. Please also subscribe to this channel. This is completely free of charge, but will help the channel to grow. Thank you. To be honest, if those popular stretches cure your back pain, you wouldn't be watching this video. So instead of focusing your energy on stretches that bend your spine, you should focus on efforts on mobilization and stretches for other parts of the body that can actually aid your road to being pain-free rather than making the pain worse. I'm going to share with you in this video 4 moves based on the findings of renowned back pain researcher Dr. Psoas Major that will help with your back pain. First, for warm-up, based on his research where he studied the stresses in the spinal disc, the cat-cow exercise has been found to be the least stressful way to incorporate some movement into the spine without aggravating it. It is the best exercise to reduce the friction in the spine and prepare you to move. To start, get onto all fours. You may spread your knees a bit to give your hips more space. And slowly move back and forth from a downward spinal curve with the head looking up like a cat. And then move into rounded spine with the head looking down. So you're moving from full spinal extension to flexion. But you want to avoid pushing the end of each range, as this is not a stretch and it is a spinal mobilization exercise, and this is what we are focusing on. Each cycle should take about 3 to 4 seconds. Imagine that you are moving vertebrae by vertebrae. 7 to 8 cycles are all that is needed to help to reduce spinal friction and resistance. Further cycles can undo the value of this exercise and can even be counterproductive. So after this warm-up drill and reduction of friction and resistance to the spine, we can start with some mobilization and stretching exercises for other problematic areas within the body that may be contributing to the pain in the lower back. The first exercise will target one of the major hip flexor muscles, the psoas major. Remember, the hip flexors consist of these muscle groups: iliacus, psoas major, and the rectus femoris muscle of the quadriceps. As I have mentioned repeatedly in my previous videos, your hip flexors are typically tightened due to prolonged sitting, which puts this muscle in a shortened position. According to Dr. Major, back pain actually tightens this muscle even further. This is problematic. As you can see, the psoas attaches to the lumbar spine, and if this is short and tight, it can pull your pelvis into anterior pelvic tilt, increasing your natural lordotic curve, and therefore increasing the compressive force on your lower back, and thus worsening the pain that you're already suffering. So naturally stretching and lengthening this muscle can therefore help to provide some relief to that lower back tension. But unfortunately, this standard hip flexor stretch will not access the psoas major muscle due to its unique anatomy, that it travels up the lateral aspect of the spine to the level of the diaphragm. And if you just adopt the typical lunge position, although you do feel the general hip flexor stretch, but you do not stretch the psoas. So instead, there is a unique stretch that we can do to help to specifically stretch this muscle. So to stretch the psoas major and other hip flexor muscles, like a classic hip flexor stretch, get into lunge position with one leg in front. Now raise your opposite arm overhead. Then laterally flex your torso slightly to the side away from your back leg. Next, drop your shoulder back to further target and stretch the psoas major. You should feel a deep stretch in the psoas located in front of your hip and your back leg. Hold this position for 10 seconds and then repeat the same on the other side. The goal is to perform 6 cycles per side. Next, we want to move on to a drill that will help us to further mobilize and open up the hips, while strengthening some of our important hip muscles that tend to be weak and inhibited in those who sit for a long time. Dr. McGill has found that stiff and weak hip causes more motion to be transferred to the spine whenever we move or exercise, and can therefore worsen the back pain that you're experiencing. To improve this, we're going to use a mobilization drill called the hip airplanes. This is an active flexibility exercise for the glute muscles and an essential part of a comprehensive warm-up for those who lift weights in order to adequately prepare your body to hoist massive weight in training or competition, and do so pain-free. You must first enhance your sense of control and balance. This exercise does just that. It is because the majority of the injuries don't often arise due to strength deficits, but instead are due to insufficient control of the strength. The lack of balance and control leads to an accumulation of micro-trauma that adds up and develops into the aches and pains of injury. In order to perform the full airplane movement, you must first show the necessary stability and coordination to balance with one leg. So perform this exercise first without shoes, so you can feel your toes gripping the floor and your body weight spread evenly across the tripod foot. These will help you to activate the smaller muscles of your feet that are essential in creating a stable body from the ground up. So assume a single leg stance, lock your ribcage down by bracing your core. Spread your arms out to the side and pivot your torso forward over your stance leg while kicking your back leg behind you, keeping your trail leg completely straight and your stance leg knee locked in a slightly bent position. This setup is similar to the single leg Romanian deadlift. Once you have gone as far forward as possible without losing balance, hold that position for 10 seconds before returning back to the standing position. The end goal with this movement is to be able to balance with your chest completely parallel to the floor for a full 10 seconds. If you are doing this correctly, you should feel some tension in your upper hamstrings and the glutes of your stance leg. And we perform the actual airplane exercise in exactly the same way as the previous exercise, except that we're going to introduce some rotational elements to the movement. This addition not only increases the difficulty of maintaining balance, but it teaches your body to actively control your glute muscles and core through a full range of motion. This is a concept Dr. McGill refers to as steering your strength. So assume a single leg stance like before, lock your ribcage down by bracing your core. You can start by having your arms by your side, or resting your arms on your hips, or holding onto something for balance initially to get more familiar with the movement. Next, rotate your hips in towards your planted legs, that is hip internal rotation. And then transition to rotating it away from your planted leg, that is hip external rotation. You want to rotate as far in or out as you are capable of doing at the moment without pain. And you can build upon this range of motion over time as you improve your mobility. You want the movement to come from your hips as opposed to simply twisting your torso. Aim for a total of 3 sets of 3 control reps with this movement. But eventually, the goal is to progress to full hip airplanes with the arms spread to the side in order to add another dimension of difficulty to the movement. So perform 3 to 5 rotations before standing back up. you should feel this exercise working the glutes of your stance leg. If you want to challenge your balance and coordination even more, the simplest way is to increase the difficulty of the movement by standing on an unstable surface like a Bosu ball. And the last of the back stretches is going to help with the daily upkeep of your back. And this is particularly beneficial to those who sit all day in front of the computer with a hyperkyphotic posture. All prolonged sitting, especially when done with a poor posture, can create a lot of stress on your intervertebral discs. To perform this stretch, simply stand with your hands behind your back and relax. Now move your arms overhead to a count of 10. I find you can feel the stretch more if you clasp your hands. You can give this a try and feel the difference. To dissipate some of the posterior stress in the disc, now reach higher with your hands and extend your spine. Now squeezing your glutes as you exhale, arch further back to another count of 10. By breaking up every 20 to 30 minutes of prolonged sitting with this drill, you will be able to prevent an excessive buildup of stress on your lower back. And you will be better able to prepare your back for another period of sitting. So as a summary, if you suffer from back pain, try to replace the usual stretches with these instead. Ideally, you want to do this daily or even multiple times a day. At the same time though, just keep in mind that back pain is specific to you and your situation, and there isn't a general fix for everyone. And also remember, stretching is only one of the elements in the holistic approach in the self-management of back pain. Please refer to my book or other videos in my channel for more information. And until next week, take care. Thank you for watching until the end. If you like this video, please click the like button. Please leave your comments below and share this video. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future weekly video release. Please also subscribe to this channel. This is free of charge but will help the channel to grow. If you're interested in improving your health and fitness or losing weight, if you suffer from or wish to prevent back pain, please take a look at my book, which is now available from Amazon worldwide. Thank you.